that mulch dog, like, they can't keep feeding that thing mulch. It's too much mulch. Welcome, everybody, to the 4th episode of the BunghettiCast. Real quick before we start the show, I would like to thank my Patreon supporters. Swan Dizzle. I told him not to support my Patreon because, like, he doesn't have to, but he did it anyways. So, thank you, buddy. If you would like to get YouTube videos early, as well as some like extra behind the scenes or extended cuts of videos, your name at the end of videos, go support my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Eddie Bunghetti. Anyways, I'm joined here with a returning guest. We have Anthony, Sechsy Studios.
Hello.
Back at it again. And boy, does he have quite the deep cut for us today.
We're taking a deep dive into the world of adults-only rated video games.
Now, with that, we thought it was a good idea to present a little bit of a warning for you guys. Games can be classified as adult only for many different reasons. So we will touch on a couple of topics that you might be sensitive to, such as violence, pornography, sexual assault, amongst other things. Is there anything that I missed that you want to put out there real quick?
I don't think so. It's going to be lewd. Obviously, if you're clicking on this video, you kind of know what you're getting into, or this, podcast or whatever you want to call it. You probably know what's coming.
But if you have sensitivities
pun intended
to that kind of stuff.
So this is a good point
beware.
to just back out. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about a couple news updates. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen that we're getting a Zelda live action movie.
Oh, I've seen
thoughts.
A lot of memes about who's involved and that it's a live action.
Yeah, I'm so worried about the casting. I just wish it was animated because casting would be so much easier, I feel like then. It's going to be tough. And I've been playing Zelda still at night. And the comments I'm getting are driving me nuts. I've heard so many people like, I want The Rock as Ganondorf. I'm like, absolutely not. You keep The Rock out of this movie.
It would be funny.
It was not supposed to be funny, though. Like,
yeah, this isn't... I mean, the Mario movie, Chris Pratt?
That was bad enough, but it was animated. So it didn't bother me. If I had to look at Chris Pratt dressed up as Mario the whole time, though.
It's a me. Yeah,
and then, so for my link...
Although Jack Black...
Jack Black was perfect as Bowser.
Oh.
But for Link, people have been saying one that really irritated me was Evan Peters, if you know who Evan Peters is.
Yes.
He's the Jeffrey Dahmer American Horror Story guy, if you don't know. I'm like, absolutely not. No, it's not. I can't with that. Yeah. I honestly think some no-name actor is probably going to be the best way to do it, but I don't think they'll do that. But then people have been saying like Timothée Chalamet, and I'm like, no, please no.
That's true. This is going to be really tough because if it's like somebody we all know, it's going to bring us out of it, I feel like. Yeah,
I don't know if we do. And if they do like a young Link thing, what I was thinking, I don't know how good he actually is an actor. Did you see Five Nights at Freddy's yet?
I did.
The little blonde boy would be a good young Link, I think.
The one that from what I've seen, the unknown child that didn't.
Yeah,
really
he was the one who was in the main front and center like the whole time. I think he'd be just a good looking young Link, but it's all up in the air right now. But then the Zelda choices have been rough too. I've seen Michael Cera for Zelda or for Link too, which would be hilarious. And obviously Tom Holland. I was
gonna make a joke.
People
about
keep
that.
throwing that name in there too, and it's like I don't want any of these people. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but.
Yeah. He was Nathan Drake in Uncharted as well.
Yeah, and that movie didn't do too well. All of his other movies besides Spider-Man have not performed that well, which is disheartening because I do like him. I do like Tom Holland. He's really funny in interviews, but just not for my Link. I just don't. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's gonna be one of those situations where nobody's gonna be happy.
Some little skinny guy that nobody knows.
Some little twinkling. Yeah, and then Zelda, exactly. I've got like, who's the girl that plays Hermione in Harry Potter has been thrown around.
These are so weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know how they're going to pull this off.
The only one that I could could see that would kind of make sense would be Timothée Chalamet, but I still also don't want him.
Yeah, his face is fine. I just don't think he's. I don't know. After the Willy Wonka too, I'm just like, oh my god, this guy is.
We need
cringe. Yeah, well, and it's not even just that either, because I don't know if you read the manga at all. I think we've talked about this before.
I've flipped through like at the store,
but I thought it was gonna be jarring that Link was speaking in those, but it actually works really well. So I'm not worried about like the actual dialogue choice, because I've seen a lot of memes going around being like, sorry, I had to clear my throat there. I don't think it's gonna be anything like that.
Corny, like.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go that way, but that's of course people have the fear of that too.
This truly was a Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
No, Ganondorf, I changed your mind. Now we're both good guys, and we're going to go fight this other new bad guy, and it's The Rock! I have no idea what they're going to do with it, but I'm very nervous, so I just want to talk about that for a second there before we start this whole...
Morbius.
Yeah, it's Morbian time. And then the second piece of news, the only thing I want to talk about, I am loving this Call of Duty Discord right now. It is fun. I don't know if you've seen much of that.
The game released as a DLC,
but it's not a DLC. It should have been a DLC. They planned it as a DLC. They said they were not making. They weren't going to release a yearly game like they've been doing, and they were just going to focus on Modern Warfare 2. And then they're like, screw that, we like money, and release Modern Warfare 3. I'm not even into Call of Duty. I'm just so. I'm getting so much enjoyment from watching these COD people.
Not so
I played them on the
lately.
Xbox 360 era, back when it was different. But the discourse between the fans is just so funny to me. The infighting in their community has brought me so much joy lately, because like half of them are finally now realizing that, oh,
it looks like a stinker.
We've been scammed. Yeah, it's like 256 gigs to download to for 3 hours of campaign.
Oh,
and then everybody's like, well, they're not even about the campaign. It's like, well, there's not even like new maps. I'm pretty sure they're all old maps. I could be wrong on that, but from what I'm understanding, there's nothing like new. There's a new zombies mode.
I honestly didn't follow it, but all of the maps that I've seen were all old maps. And
yeah, but that could be because people are excited for those. But
that's true.
I am just taking great pleasure in this, that they're finally like,
zombies doesn't look good.
No, it hasn't been good in it. Like, I've never been the biggest fan. It was fun in World at War, but yeah, I just been finding amusement with that. So I'm hoping they'll maybe Activision might actually change its ways, or it might have been due to the merger, because they just got merged with Microsoft. Just bought them, right? Just bought Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, it actually went through. Yeah.
So they had nothing to do with this game, because I've seen people throwing that around too, like, oh, of course, as soon as Microsoft got their hands on that, this was planned.
Too convenient.
There's no way they could have got a game out that quick, unless they were like, you need to sell this for $70. But I don't think Microsoft would do that, just the way they've been gaming lately in general. Microsoft has been pretty chill, in terms of just wanting people to play games and whatnot. So
they'd probably put it on Game
It definitely seems more like a Blizzard thing at this point still. So we'll see what happens in the future. And I'm looking forward to more discourse. But anyways, should we get into the fun world of AO rated games?
I think so. A deep dive into the world of adult-only video games.
Yeah, so
and
I
this
do
is only
believe...
like officially rated games also.
Yes, there's 26 of them. There's also one in here. So there's kind of 27. I'm not entirely sure what where it comes in and the changes made, but because I couldn't find a lot of info on it, but I did see some sources that were citing it as a AO game, but it looks like it got changed, but I couldn't really find what they changed, but we'll get to it. But anyways,
sounds good.
First, so it's presumed to be the first one. I don't know why it's presumed, because it's the only one on the Wikipedia. And I assume all of these, because a lot of these don't have a lot of information on here. I had to do some digging, and some of them I couldn't find anything at all. So I don't know why it's presumed to be the first one. But hey, it's the Joy of Sex for the Philips CDI.
Okay.
Which is just the funniest thing to me, because the CDI is just great.
Dude, you can play Zelda on that. Yeah,
absolutely. The whole reason, like, this machine right here is why the Sony PlayStation exists, and it's the weirdest, like the split reality thing, where in one reality we would have got the Nintendo PlayStation, but instead we got the CDI, and we also got the first adult only rated game, The Joy of Sex. And so, if you don't know, The Joy of Sex is a 1972 illustrated sex manual by British author Alex Comfort. An updated edition was released in September 2008, blah, blah, blah. So there's not a whole lot about this. I couldn't really find screenshots or like playthroughs. I also didn't do. I don't know how to look into it differently, I guess. Maybe if I looked on some adult websites, I maybe was able to find it, but I couldn't find anything. I saw a screenshot with the Angry Video Game Nerd's face with the game cover, and I don't know if that was real or not. I don't think he's talked about this game, but maybe he brought it up in a Philips CDI video. I don't know.
Right, just as like an off joke.
Yeah, so in 1993, a video game adaptation of the book was released for the Philips CDI. It is possibly the first of only 27 games to receive the adults-only rating from the ESRB due to its strong sexual content. And that's really all I got to go on it. So I'm wondering if it's just like a book. I don't know if there's animations. So
right, a visual novel.
Because, yeah, some people... not some people, what am I talking about? Someone might have played this game. I feel like someone had to have owned it, but I can't really find
anybody out there.
Yeah,
Zelda
I just
in
want
one
more
hand, the Book of Sex in the other.
Someone's got to have Philips CDI or like a way to emulate it or something. I don't know much about the CDI, how hard it is to emulate it and whatnot, but I'm wondering what you do in this game, if it is just like a flip book or if there is animations or what. But it is just odd that the first one was on the Philips CDI, one of the more obscure.
That's so funny. It's one of the 5 games that released. I actually don't know how many.
Let me look that up quick.
Yeah.
How many CDI games released?
There's 4 Zeldas?
Oh my god. Guess.
6.
No. Higher.
300.
Way high. Oh, lower.
Okay. We'll do like 57.
214 apparently.
What the? So wait, 300 wasn't that far?
No.
How?
Hold on, because this is saying how many of these games. There's someone made a game for the CDI in 2022 called it Nobilia. I know we're off topic here, but this is
one of those.
Zelda meets Bomberman in this homebrew game for the Philips CDI. Oh my god, nah.
Well, I guess there was Mario too, huh? On the CDI.
But they made one in 1997, and that was Frog Feast. Someone still made one in 2007 apparently. I don't know why people are making CDI games, but what was the last?
I mean, I guess the timeline kind of makes sense because the ESRB wasn't put into place until the 90s.
I sent you guys that link. What year did that? What year?
Night Trap and Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, that was the big one. And Night Trap is such a stupid game.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever played it or not, but
I've watched people play it. But
oh my god,
yeah, full motion video of. I feel like
so
that
was 94. So I don't even know how this got a rating. It was 93. I'm not entirely sure how this works then, unless it was published and then to sell it they had to put the rating on there. I have no idea. There's a lot of little info like that is missing from this whole debacle.
Maybe games that were still being printed or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Hold on, let me look up. I want to see.
Had to put the old rating on there.
So I'm looking at the entire list of CDI games, and I'm not even seeing it on here. I wonder if it'd be J?
The Joy or Joy?
Yeah, it's not even listed on here, so now I'm very confused.
Okay.
CDI games list, and it's very odd. Yeah, there's not a whole lot about it. All right, well, I guess we're going to move on to the next one then, because I am all out of... This is where a lot of these just end up just nothing, and it's a little disappointing.
The archive.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is where we hit a bit of a snag here as well. So the next 5 games on this list, well, there's technically one in between there, but I just lumped all these together. So these all came out in 95, 96, and 97, and then one in 98. But from a span of 95 to 98, there was this company called Mac Daddy Entertainment. I tried making a Reddit post in the video games subreddit, and 500 people saw it, but nobody had anything to say. I got no upvotes, no responses, no nothing. So I'm just assuming they either didn't read it or just had no idea what it actually was. But they released 5 official games, and if there's only 27, some lists say 26. I don't even know there. There's only 26 of these games, and 5 of them were made by one developer.
1/5 of the games is Mac Daddy.
I don't understand how this company just completely wiped their existence from the internet. I don't get it. especially like with something like this too, because the internet loves naughty things.
Oh, of course.
And so I'm really wondering if they rebranded as something else. If they shifted focus and then just completely, they changed their name, they cut ties completely with what they were doing before, you know, for reputation's sake and whatnot, because nobody wants to be associated with people who made naughty games. I'm gonna keep using that phrase there, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they changed their name because nobody wanted to publish their games, or like their games weren't
these are all of these are computer games, so like I don't even think it's an issue of publishing as much, and it's also an issue of retail selling is the reason we don't get adult only games, because retailers do not want to carry them, which I get.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there's a market for these things, not me personally, but I just don't get why it's not more of a thing. It's just odd to me.
Yeah, so these are also games that I guess aren't listed as like straight up pornography, because you can get games that are straight up pornography, and they aren't rated by the ESRB, because it's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but those are on, like, you know, there's websites for them specifically, but they're not on Steam. They're not on any actual retailer. Yeah. But you can find them on the internet, and that they're low quality, I assume, and probably not very good from what I imagine. If it's probably one or two people making those kind of things is what I would assume, because there's no profit in it really, except for maybe ad revenue on the site.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Porn ads, they do like to pay.
But either way, I do have a little bit of information about the first game here. Yes. It's called Crystal Fantasy. And so apparently, I was just doing some digging, and I came across one Reddit post about this game specifically. And someone said they found a PC like gaming magazine article. I don't remember exactly which one. But this was the description in that magazine. Venture through the cave of lust and find the secret crystal. Interact with the sexiest young jewels of the Mac Daddy harem. Take snapshots of the girls, and play with them in your own private portfolio. 6 highly interactive, 3-dimensional gorgeous babes. CD, $44. And so I assume all of these games are like glamour. They're all like picture taking games. Based on that description of Crystal Fantasy.
Okay.
And then, so the one in 1996 was called Cyber Photographer, which I did find the discs for. I did find an image of the discs on those ones. But other than that, I could not find screenshots or anything else. But I did find I think it was an eBay posting for the discs, but it was old and just archived. And then you got All Nude Cyber, All Nude Glamour, and All Nude Niggy.
Naturally.
So the 2 of those are 97, the last one was in 98. So
the crystals.
I assume they're all just like taking picture games. So I assume there's not a lot of substance to any of these, and it's probably why they don't have the records of them. But it's still odd.
Makes sense.
Yeah, of 3D models. Like it's like Pokemon Snap, but with nude ladies, I guess, is what I'm kind of picturing.
Yeah, or some like one of those Newgrounds games that.
Yeah, but these. They had a developer, they sent their games into the ESRB. Like, that's how we know these things exist. That's the only reason I have any of this information. So,
and then the ESRB was like, you can't, what are you doing?
Well, that's the reason they have the adults only label. It's just that stores and things won't sell them. So like, but I'm sure there's naughty stores you can go sell things at and whatnot. But yeah,
that's true.
So that's Mac Daddy Entertainment. So if anybody knows anything about Mac Daddy Entertainment, or anybody who worked at Mac Daddy Entertainment, that'd be super cool to find out. But
I've definitely been to cons that have had like naughty like booths where you have to like show your ID and you have to go into like this place. And you know, maybe I should look out for some of these. I saw the uncensored version of Honey Pop in one of those, if you know what that game is.
I don't know what Honey Pop is. Do you want to elaborate there just a bit? Because that does sound interesting.
So it's like a dating sim where you give people like these girls gifts and stuff, and then you go on dates. Yes. You go on dates where the date is you do like a puzzle game where it's like the sliding block puzzles. Or you match the colors or whatever.
Switch for some reason.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Okay.
But then the last date, you take them home,
Oh, so there's an uncensored version and a censored version of what you're saying there, then?
And they moan and they derobe a little bit. But yes, the official game on Steam, I don't believe has any nudity, or it's censored. It's the same images, but it's censored. And
yeah,
the Honey Pop, you can go on their website and get it, or I guess find a DVD, where it's totally nude, and the images afterwards are totally uncensored.
So what's weird too about the Steam thing is, so there's this game called House Party on there, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know about House Party?
Game
So
grumps.
it's weird because it's rated M, right? But there is
straight up porn. There's wieners.
All you got to do is command prompts. You open up the command for the game, right? And then you can just enter nude and then the sex things too. And you can have sex and you can be nude. So I don't know how they get around that with the
I have no idea. There's like
rated M thing, because it's not like, so if I had to go mod it or something to do that, like if they had an official mod that you just had to go get off a different website, that would make more sense. But the fact that you can just do that from the command prompts in the base game seems very odd to me.
Yeah, Steam also has like total like porn game. I've seen like VR porn games on there just straight up that you could get.
How long do they stay on there? Like, are they for sure like
that's a good point. I don't know.
Will they get taken down? Because we'll get to the Steam at the end of this. Because
Yeah.
the last one we're going to talk about is well known from Steam and whatnot. So we'll get into that.
Oh, okay.
It's you probably know the game, honestly. It's yeah. But anyways, let's move on here, because now this is where we get a little more fun here. I get a lot more detail from the next games because there's just a lot more information about them.
Let's go.
So this one is called Rihanna Rogue Black Dragon Productions.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's Rihanna Rogue. It was made by Black Dragon Productions, distributed by Konami of America.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you heard me. It's a Konami game, technically.
Cool.
Yeah, when they used to make games, actually, and not just gambling for children and adults. But this game cost $1 million to make, and that was in 1998, and I calculated.
So it's like 3?
No, 97. I calculated the inflation. It's only $1.48 million. Okay. So, but that's still $500,000 more.
Yeah.
But this game stars Playboy playmate Jillian Bonner as Rihanna, a shy secretary who spies on her boss, attempting to sexually assault a coworker. She enters the office and tries to help her, but she is overpowered by her boss and thrown out of the window. Somehow, she is transported to another world where she is a seductive warrior who must rescue the world from an evil dictator, her boss, and rescue the coworker.
Konami, who greenlit this?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, well, they didn't. It was made by Black Dragon Productions, but I don't know how they
isekai'd
They had to have
her.
funded it though. But they had to fund this game though, right? There's no way this Black Dragon Productions just had $1.4 million or $1 million to make
and
this.
And they were okay with it throughout the entire process to keep funding this game.
Yeah. But this game has an interface which allowed players to control the heroine using an emotivator, which determines the course of action according to whether the player chooses to feel seductive, compassionate, or afraid. So it sounds like just a multiple choice kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Fun fact about this one, it was written by a woman, which blew my brain. Because this has man written all over it.
Right, like she witnesses SA and then gets teleported and then is just in this crazy outfit that shows off everything.
And like this lady, this Nancy Oliver, she actually has won some award. I'm gonna go click on her page quick. She's got awards, I can't talk right now. Nominations. She got a award for an episode of True Blood, if you know what True Blood is.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's wrote some things. She won something for Lars. I don't know what Lars is, but it was competing with Diablo Cody and Juno at the time, so
cool.
That's
cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal to beat Juno. I don't know what Diablo Cody is, but I know Juno was a huge deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's like an actual writer who wrote this.
Weird.
I don't even know what you want to call it. It's insane,
Konami.
though.
You know, because of Konami, she wrote that episode of True Blood.
You think so?
I have no idea. Maybe it inspired
But yeah, again,
her.
there's no information on Black Dragon Productions, so I don't know what the deal with these companies is. Is just like not wanting to have anybody knowing who these people are. Like, are they just that embarrassed? Like, stand by your art, right?
Right, like they're all making like it's actually this studio, but they're working under a pseudonym, so then it wouldn't be connected to their other work.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, it received an overall score of 19% from a German PC gaming magazine, and PC Joker gave it a 35%. It actually managed to sell 100,000 copies, which obviously did not make their money back. And so I'm assuming they just went defunct after that. And Konami took a huge L there, I assume. But yeah, that's Rihanna Rogue.
Rihanna.
Oh, and there was also realistic blood and gore, apparently, too. But that, of course, was not mentioned in the...
That's what I like to see. See, that's that kind of stuff, and we're going to get into it. I feel like is a little bit more interesting for why games are, like, labeled as adult only. Because, like...
When they're just that hardcore?
Because, like, nudity, it's like, well, of course. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, games can have nudity, but I feel like it's a little bit more...
There's one that's going to absolutely surprise you on this list then, so look forward to that. It's one of my favorites on here. It's just really funny to me. But we're going to keep going with Wet, the Sechsy Empire, also known as Lula, the Sechsy Empire. This one...
Wet.
Was one of the games I could actually still buy. I found a website to actually buy this on. I could get it downloaded. It didn't look like the safest website, but I could actually play this game, it looked like.
Oh.
But it did say Windows 10, but I assume Windows 11 would work just fine. But who knows?
Yeah, I don't see why not, but that's true.
Yeah, so this one, Lula, the Sechsy Empire, is a business simulation game for Windows and Amiga OS. I'm not entirely sure what an Amiga OS is. Amiga OS. It's... that's too much. That's too much computer talk for me.
It's like Windows, Linux.
That's what I'm assuming.
iOS,
is a family of property native operating systems. That's so much computer. I'm sure someone will know. But the game revolves around building a multi-million-dollar pornography and erotica industry. Oh. Character designs were done by German comic artist Carsten Weiland.
You know, the second Honey Pop game is kind of like that.
The second what?
Honey Pop game.
Oh.
Your cam models. Go on.
So I did, that was all just on the Wikipedia page, but I did find more of the description when I went to the place where I could buy this game. And here's the description of that. Welcome to the erotica business. It's your dream. You're the boss of an international erotica group with film and sound studios, a casting office, marketing department, etc. But everyone has to begin at the bottom. So you start with your attractive girlfriend in a sleepy little town in the desert, but as if that's not enough, you're almost broke and the FBI is after you too. It's up to you to make the most of your new exciting career as a producer of erotica. The funny erotic pictures in Lula the Sechsy Empire were created by well-known illustrator Carsten Weiland and gave its unique atmosphere, along with the wide hidden array of gags that innovative 3-stage playing system guarantees long-lasting fun.
This one does sound like more of an actual game.
It's more of a tycoon game from what I saw.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what you actually see in the game, but...
Right. Maybe it's more so just the subject matter.
It might be a fun thing to get one of those, you can get the fake card online, so you can buy it safely. And then we could just play it and talk over
the prepaid cards or whatever.
We could do a podcast of just talking over this game, because obviously I don't think we could show it on anything. We could play it through Discord, and that could be kind of fun.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but that's Lula, and Lula will be returning shortly, but we are done with Lula for now.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Lula's not done there.
Main character? Is that the main character, or is that like...
I assume it's your girlfriend.
The girlfriend, that's what I was...
I'm assuming so. I didn't really get that information. She looks pretty on the box art.
Nice.
No, it is drawn nice. The comic artist, whoever it is, they don't have a Wikipedia page for themselves, but they look like they know what they're doing at least, so that's neat. All right, this next one got a bit tricky. So we got Playboy, Oh no, this one's not the tricky one. This one's stupid. This one's Playboy Screensaver, the women of Playboy, which I don't know if you remember those or not. My buddy actually had one on his computer back in the day because he thought it was super cool, and I mean, I guess it kind of was.
He had like
the free trial of it, but it was like the little stripper in the corner of your screen.
Oh.
Did you ever see those?
I think I have.
And she'd be like, "Hey, baby, why don't you buy the full version?" And like she'd keep repeating stuff like that. But
I would be, when I was too young, I would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, this was in like, I think I was like a 13 when I saw it. So, I mean, it was boobies.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, but it was the stupidest little thing. Like, so I don't know. That's all that one was, though. But that's apparently a game, I guess. And I don't know how I feel about this being on the list, but it's made by Sony ImageSoft, though. That's a fun little fun fact.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one's really all there is to that one. Let's see. What was the next one here? Sechsy Games. It's a mobile game, apparently. This one's not a mobile game. I don't know why it says it's a mobile game. But it's... I don't know why it says it on there, because from what I could find, it's not a mobile game.
Okay.
So I have no idea why it says it's on mobile phones, unless it's a different Sechsy Games. But do you know who Eidos Interactive is?
I don't.
They made Tomb Raider and Hitman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they made Singles. Is a title that is heavily influenced by The Sims, and it does look just like The Sims from what I saw.
Singles.
Like, absolutely The Sims. Singles is a title that is heavily influenced by The Sims. It could be almost described as The Sims with an endgame. The overall goal, as famous Greg Cassavan once put it, is to knock boots. This is not to say that the game replaces all of the standard facets of The Sims with the goal of getting laid. You still have to ensure that your characters do not die of starvation or urinate all over themselves, fetishist or not. You do have all the standard tools for laying out your home and adding furniture. Essentially, the game puts you in control of two people, and the objective is to get them to spend time together, to fall in love, and eventually sleep together.
Oh.
But it does look just like The Sims. I don't know if you can see screenshots of it or anything, but...
I'll look it up.
It is.
Yeah, when I was littler, and played The Sims, I would just try to speedrun woohooing.
Yeah, so it's essentially that, but, you know, with a bit more flair, apparently.
Yeah.
I just found it super surprising it's made by Eidos.
It looks exactly like The Sims.
Yeah, it's copy and paste. Like, try not to make my homework look like yours, bro.
Yeah, even like the UI, the menus and stuff.
Yeah, it looks exactly like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But hey, I mean, I don't know if they made any money on it. I really doubt it, but it sure sounds like a fun time. Alrighty, that's really it for what was that? Sechsy Games?
Singles.
Or was that Singles? Singles, yeah, Singles. Oh wait, so yeah, I don't even know what Sechsy Games was. That's my bad. I mixed those two up there. I don't know what Sechsy Games actually was. Let me see if It's
a mobile phone game. Or so they claim.
Or so they claim.
Except it's not, because it came out.
So I'm using a bunch of different sources. Because that's Singles Flirt Up Your Life. Yeah, I apparently either didn't look too much into or couldn't find anything. Hold on. Now I'm curious if I can, what was it? Sechsy Life,
Sechsy
did I say?
Sechsy Games.
Sechsy Game?
Nico's Skillies. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, Sechsy
I have
Games.
No idea. Sechsy Games.
I got nothing.
I got too many tabs up here. Nothing on that?
Yeah, I Googled
Okay, so
it.
I did look. Yeah, because obviously Sechsy Games is going to yield you all sorts of things, but if you even put the publisher with it, it's not going to.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. Then we took care of that one, I guess, and Singles. Also, it looks like it's also called not just Singles. It looks like there's a subtitle. Yeah, it's Singles Flirt Up Your Life, apparently, on this other website. I'm using two different sources here. I'm using GiantBomb.com. Someone made a list of all these, but there are missing a few games because this list only starts at number 5. So I'm wondering if it's missing. Oh no, because those other games are on here too. I don't know which ones it's missing on here. But anyways, what are we on to now? Oh yeah, we're on to okay, this is where, again, with a little of the trigger warning, because some of these do get kind of gross. these next 5 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are all made by Peach Princess. And again, can't find any more information about Peach Princess, but these are all just shmentai visual novels. If you want a little more information, there is, because some of them are kind of gross, but we will start with Snowdrop here. There's not a lot of information about Snowdrop. It does seem they get worse as they go on, but also kind of better. It's weird. So Snowdrop is just an adult visual novel about a collegiate boy finding love during a ski lodge vacation. And yeah, that's
okay.
Really it. So I'm assuming, hold on, I think I can click on the thing here and make sure that I didn't miss any information about it, because there's not a lot on that one.
Bad.
Snowdrop.
Visual novel.
There's some images, but there's nothing.
Do you remember when Game Grumps would play visual novels that were like spicy?
So what are we on now? We are on, I'm going to butcher this, Tokimeki check-in.
Okay.
Tokimeki check-in. Where'd that one go? So I'll make sure I'm not missing any info. I don't think I am. Yeah, no. Tokimeki check-in is a pornographic visual novel billed as a dating sim and an adventure game, of which it is neither, is the only description I got.
Nice.
So I'm not entirely sure what that means. If it's just literally like a visual novel, like in the sense that it's literally a visual novel.
Anybody that's played these games, please give us details. Or if like
anybody has.
Your dad played these games, actually.
These would have been these ones are all 2001 to 2002 by Peach Princess.
I feel like your dad would probably do a good job at hiding these kind of games.
But they're anime though, so like it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a dad thing in the 90s and early 2000s,
right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Unless your dad's really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe not for I don't even know. Games, but...
I wish I knew where these games were made, if they were made in the East somewhere or what, but because they are officially submitted to the ESRB.
That's true.
And that's how we do have this information on them.
Yeah, the ESRB is North American because like they have like Peggy and the other.
Yeah, they have all sorts of different stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, this next one's fun though. This one was my favorite one out of these because it's so gross.
Okay.
Because this is all I got. It's called Water Closet, The Forbidden Chamber. Where do you think Water Closet, The Forbidden Chamber is going?
Oh no. I can think of many things. Most of them are probably not correct.
No, you might be. It's a water sports and scat, urine and feces themed pornographic game.
This is not what I thought. Where I
water closet.
Guessed.
I'm sure people outside the states they don't. The water closet is the bathroom. I do believe that is the slang.
Oh.
And the forbidden chamber, I assume, is the beehole. That's what I'm assuming.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm thinking
that
of
was
what
my favorite one of those because it was funny. That was the most like, because I didn't get that either when I first. Yeah, and there's one picture of it.
Water closet.
Let me just. Can I send this to you?
Just DM it to me. It's okay. The Forbidden Chamber. What a silly name. It's like those anime where it's like, my stepmother shoots missiles out of her bosom, but I deflected them and became the ultimate.
But I mean, that's what I like about this one. It makes sense once you understand
what it's about.
The water closet, yeah, because like, and then you see the cover here, because I didn't see the cover when.
Yeah.
But then once you see this, it all makes sense.
Oh, I actually wasn't that far off when I said it's just a butthole. Okay.
It's a nice toilet cam shot, yeah.
All right.
But I died when I first read that because I'm like, water closet. Because I'm like, what does that mean? And then
early 2000s anime faces.
They're so bad. So bad. They're nostalgic to an extent, but yeah. So that's a water closet. That's really all I know about that one too. Water closet. The next one is Exchange. This is again another little trigger warning because there's some bad things in here. I don't know how much detail you want to go into, but
okay.
Because this one, so it's Exchange. Again, these are all made by Peach Princess. I'm going to butcher this probably. Takayuya Ahari is a weakling of a man pushed around by the women around him, from his childhood friend Asuka to his sister Natsume. No one seems to respect him as a man.
He's just none like of me that for real.
No, he's not. Just wait.
Oh no.
None of that is about to change when he accidentally spills a chemical on himself that transforms him into a woman. The clock is ticking for Takuya, who only has a few days to get himself turned back into a man, or he'll be stuck in a woman's body forever. Note, the characters are all in junior college in the U.S. localizations due to CP laws.
So they changed it from high school to college.
Yeah, and that doesn't really make it better. This one's fun, though, because we do have multiple endings. Do you want to go through the endings, or is that too much?
We can go through some.
There are 7 endings.
I'm curious.
All right, so the good ending, the first one, Sota gives Takuya the right potion to turn him back into a man, and Takuya confesses his love for Asuka. They fall in love and begin dating. That one's nice, right? Isn't that nice? The good ending, too. Takuya becomes a man again, but instead confesses his love to Sota. The two fall in love and plan to study medicine in college together. That's nice, right?
Good job. Good job,
That's
guys.
nice. Okay, here we get. This is the bad stuff, though, and it's again, it's bad. Trigger warnings: sexual assault. All right, just putting that out there again. Takuya drinks the wrong potion and becomes. Oh, and this language here is not good. Becomes a hermaphrodite to Satoya's scientific delight. Satoya forces him to become her love slave.
Yeah, we don't like that anymore. Yeah.
Bad ending 4. Takuya agrees to model for the art class and is sexually assaulted by 3 art students painting her form.
Bro.
The experience causes Takuya, who apparently enjoyed it, to decide to remain a woman forever. Just awful.
That
like
is...
I can't believe I had to read that. I didn't have to read that sentence, but I needed people to understand what I was reading as I was doing research for this, all right?
Don't you guys don't have to tell me about this game. We can skip exchange.
I gotta finish. There's only 3 more endings that we gotta go through them, though. I mean, we're already here. Mr. Terada and Takuya are caught in, I don't know what this word means, flagrant delictio? I have no idea what that means.
It's probably
I don't know if I want to look it up.
Slur.
Yeah. Everyone is apparently so disgusted with Takuya that all his friends abandon him, and Sato stops working on his cure, stranding him as a woman forever. I can't read today.
Sounded
apparently.
like it was a teacher as well.
Yeah, I assume so, yeah. Bad ending number 6, Nurse Matsugon. These names are Japanese, obviously. Nurse Matsun Aga and some other students seduce Takuya. The experience is so intensely pleasurable that Takuya decides to remain a woman forever. So it seems like all the bad endings are
also
him staying a woman.
Yeah.
And then one more here. We got Seiji, Natsumi's best friend, tries to sexually assault Takuya, but is stopped. Sato gives Takuya the potion, and he is transformed back to a man, but he never lives down the shame for almost having been assaulted.
At least that's not great, but it's not awful. The worst.
This is all awful.
But yeah,
but this
none
is
of
an
them.
exchange, and it looks like Yu-Gi-Oh art from the pictures I've seen.
Oh.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! And like kind of that Yu Yu Hakusho kind of look. So it's not drawn the worst, but yeah, that was the hardest stuff to read on this. I think it was because I had to keep reading. There was because I wasn't getting a lot of information for most of this, as you guys have heard. So once I did find stuff, I was like, okay, I got to read as much about this as I can because content. But yeah, that's the point where I think I messaged you guys. Where I'm like, I can't.
You're like,
with this.
This
my
is
brain hurts.
Crazy. Yeah, I never took a figure drawing class because I knew that we would have to draw people nude.
I didn't. It was actually not as weird as you'd think.
My biggest thing is that I was afraid of my ability to draw like naturalistic forms. But I feel like now I would totally be okay with it. Quick side story. I had a friend that took the figure drawing class, and she said that there was an older gentleman that modeled for them, and he started leaking pre-cum while they were drawing him.
That's awful.
So
I had the only, because we had just had mostly women, but the only guy that I was just like, I mean, it wasn't even that he was a guy, it was just the fact that he was
or like some kind of seminal cleaning fluid,
That is so gross.
Like it dripped.
But this guy had a huge mole on the back of his neck, like the big hairy kind, which I know people can't help that kind of stuff, so I'm not like making fun of him. But that's not the worst part. It's just how flexible this dude was. It was like a contortionist in like a horror movie kind of thing. And those days I'm always like, God damn it, this is too much. I don't want to look at...
Before my art history class, because it was at the same time, Thursday nights at like 6 p.m., I went to the bathroom before my art history class, and I saw the dude just standing there in the middle of the room naked.
The old man?
I think it was another gentleman.
Okay.
He was also a little bit older. But I guess he was changing for the figure drawing class, but he wasn't. He was just in the middle of the men's bathroom, standing there naked. So I turned around and went to another bathroom.
Yeah, they had a little. We had a little art closet that they could go into and change at least.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Also,
but anyway,
students could volunteer for that too, and you can get paid for it. But it was also kind of weird.
I think they got paid $20 for 30 minutes. So I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, they posted some of the drawings up like out in the hall, and like.
No, thank you.
I had like a witchcraft class. It wasn't as cool as it sounded. And I was like, where do I know this person? And I was like, oh. I saw somebody draw you naked.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going off topic. But
yeah, no, it was a fun experience. My only issue with it is that our guy was very focused on like the quick drawings, and you only had like a minute to do a drawing.
Oh,
to 5 minutes at most, and you just flip to the next one and try doing it again.
Yeah, what is it? The gesture.
And I couldn't stand it. It's like, would you just let me draw my one drawing for the class for my 20-30 minutes while they're standing here? And it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, we're on to Critical Point, the last Peach Princess game. And this is where things get a little weird, too, again.
Okay.
Because
not as bad.
No, not in like that sense. Because I think this is the one. Yeah, okay, this is... In the title Critical Point, you play as Reiji Osumi, an officer with the Freelance Space Force. Previously a fighter pilot, Osumi was reassigned to intelligence after being captured by enemy forces. Osumi's plane went down in enemy territory, and a rescue party did not arrive before he was tortured for information by an android that slowly sliced off bits of his arm down to the elbow. Ooh. The military replaced the arm with a cybernetic one, but Osumi still harbors a great deal of anger and hostility towards the android as a result. Osumi is sent to a freelance moon base to investigate suspected sabotage under the cover of technical specialists. Upon his arrival, he discovers the base is almost solely occupied by women. It is possible for the player to develop relationships with several of the women during the course of the game, the primary one being his subordinate and undercover prototype android named Elise, who works in operations. As well as being featured in the cover box, aside from the relationship developed in the game, the potential outcomes of the investigation is also possible to die in many ways, ultimately leading to 24 possible endings.
Holy moly.
I don't think I actually have... Yeah, I don't have the actual endings of this game, unfortunately. Okay. But what's funny about this one, though, scenario writer Kenichi Suzuki wrote the script for Critical Point. He is best known for his work on Gundam, Macross, Orgus, and Bubblegum Crisis. Anime series. I know of Bubblegum Crisis and Gundam, obviously, but
it kind of checks out. Space Force.
Yeah, it's just that's what I find super funny about this one. Yeah, like, and he also worked on Advanced VG. I don't know what that is, and Pyramid Patrol. What is Advanced VG? Oh. This all-girl fighting game was released on the PlayStation Saturn. Oh, okay, I know that game. Kinda.
Yeah, what a coincidence that he gets
and what is
sent
Pyramid Patrol?
All-girl space station, huh?
Yeah, but I just find that funny that they actually have this real writer for this one after all these games.
But this was the last... did.
So,
Peach Princess went out with a bang.
You can actually find the cover for Critical Point on there. I'm sure you could actually find it if you want to Google that quick, because it is the art looks good. I'm gonna be honest. It does look better.
Yeah.
The actual in-game art is fine. It does look very Gundam-y itself, too.
Nipples through the t-shirt.
Yeah. So, and this also says this was released in 1998, but the Wikipedia page also says it's 2002, so I'm not entirely sure where the differences come there. Pun intended. But yeah, that's all the games by Peach Princess, and once again, no info on Peach Princess that I can find. Let me try just a quick Google search here. Maybe I missed something. Peach Princess Developer.
Don't get
no,
Mario.
Just Princess Peach pops up.
Yeah,
it's just Princess Peach. So yeah, that's makes it hard to find things too. Same with like the Bunghetti Entertainment thing. There is someone else who goes by Bunghetti Entertainment. It looks like it's like a party thing, like maybe even a children's party thing where they help plan parties and set up parties.
Bunghetti.
So it makes things very hard. Anyways, moving on. This is one of the fun ones. So it's kind of boring, but it is interesting that it's even on here.
Okay.
So we got Peak Entertainment Casinos.
Okay.
It's gambling.
Casinos. Is this another tycoon?
Huh? No, it's just a casino game.
Oh.
It's literally just, blackjack and the casino things, slot machines.
Oh, like you actually play. Okay.
But I don't think it's real money. It says it's online, but I don't think it's real money. But anyways, Peak Entertainment is a provider of online gambling services submitted its product to the ESRB for an AO rating to demonstrate its commitment to discourage underage gambling. It is the only AO rated game to receive a rating for reasons unrelated to violence or sexual content. So I just thought that was neat.
That's
so it
amazing.
might be some actual online gambling now that I read that again. So they might be using real money, but it is admirable that they submitted themselves that way. And
they did it for the kids.
Yeah.
Think
about the children. So yeah,
that's cool.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, that was more of the ones I'm like, oh, thank God. Because after all, so we've been going in order. So this is after all the research I've been doing. And like, this one was like, oh, that's nice. That's refreshing.
Good on you, Peak Entertainment.
Because now we're moving onward. Do you know about the Leisure Suit Larry franchise?
I do.
So this is the one in 2004. It's Magna Cum Laude. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, though, this is the first one where the original guy, because this is the 7th game in the series.
Yeah, because it was a Sierra series, right? Like 2D point and click.
Yep. And this is the first one where the dude who made the games left. Series creator Al Lowe. And the final game to be released by Sierra before rights were sold to Codemasters. So I don't know if there's any more it's hard to say. Leisure Suit Larry games.
I honestly think one released like within the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't get the appeal though. It sounds awful. But yeah, this is an open world game where Larry can walk around campus, interact with students and personnel on the premises. In this mode, Larry can search for hidden money or tokens, strike poses to impress girls, and take photos which can be sold to collectors, which sounds disgusting. Pretty sure I know what photos he's taking. At several locations on campus, a minigame can be entered, usually by activating an object or a person, starting a conversation. They must win the minigames in order to advance, and blah, blah, blah. I've seen this one played online, and the thing I do respect about the other Leisure Suit Larry games, I do think the point-and-click adventure is a fun thing with it. It was a cheeky game, as opposed to this game.
Yeah, no, this is hot garbage.
Yeah, this was the sellout game. It was like mini games and
you actually walk around. It's like 3D graphics, but
which would be fine if it was still like because I do appreciate a good point and click adventure where you find I like finding the thing, go trying it on this thing, combining with this thing, and I think that's what the other ones were more so, right?
Yes,
as far as I understand,
yeah, it's a lot like a King's Quest type.
Yeah.
Games.
Or there's the one with the aliens. It's really, I love that. It's a George Lucas or the LucasArts game. I can't. It's like time travel and aliens. What is that called?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Monkey Island.
Yeah, it's the same people who made Monkey Island. So I mean,
yeah.
LucasArts time.
I actually
travel.
Have some background about this game. Funny enough.
Maybe it wasn't LucasArts. Hold on. What game though are you talking about?
This Leisure Suit Larry one.
Oh yeah, go on then.
So I think in this one you play as like the grandson of the.
It's his nephew.
It's his nephew. Yeah. Okay, who's in college and he's just a fucking loser. Nobody likes him.
Well, they're both losers. Like that's the whole thing there.
That's true. I think on the original ones, like if you didn't have speakers on your computer, like it would play songs inside of like your PC, like using like the beep speaker.
Really?
Somehow, or something like that, or something vibrated. I don't even know. But that was the old ones. This game actually came out on my birthday.
Really?
In 2004, so I was 8.
Oh my god.
And my dad owned the M-rated version of this game.
Yeah, because the M-rated version was the only one on consoles.
On PS2, and he said,
"Yeah,
don't play this game. This was for adults." I wonder if he knew how bad it was, or if he expected it to be like more similar to.
It definitely feels like a not clickbait, but whatever the other term, cash grab, to where people will see it on the shelf and buy it. Another fun fact though, High Voltage Studio, I've actually played one of their games for my YouTube channel. They made the Haunted Mansion game.
Oh,
the Disney one. They do a lot of Disney and Nickelodeon games. They have like Dora the Explorer and some Rugrats games. And it's just really funny to me that that's like their, if you go look at their catalog on Wikipedia here, it is a lot of, there's Lego Racers, and you got a bunch of sports games, and Disney's The Haunted Mansion, like I just said, Duel Masters, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They got 50, they made the 50 Cent game, Bulletproof, Codename Kids Next Door, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Family Guy the video game.
Oh, what a weird, wide
they've made
array.
So much stuff. There's apparently Mortal Kombat for the Windows. They must have
been like in charge of porting it or whatever.
Ported it, yeah. But yeah, Nickelodeon Fit, Nickelodeon Dance, Victorious, Time to Shine. So many things. And it's just so nuts that Leisure Suit Larry is also one of their games here. Like, I don't know how
they get around.
They don't have the kids license. Oh, they have Disney's. Before that, they had Disney's Stitch Experiment 626. And Disney's The Haunted Mansion were the only ones released before that. And then they somehow got more work doing that, I guess. But they made the Harvey Birdman game too.
That's fun.
I've never played it, but I love Harvey Birdman. But yeah, it's a very fun.
Weird.
But anyways, back to Leisure Suit Larry, because like we were saying, the console version is not AO, but the game originally received an adults-only rating from the ESRB and was subsequently edited to receive a more commercial mature rating in the United States and Canada. In Europe, the game was released unedited on all 3 systems and featured a disclaimer on the packaging highlighting that it was uncut. So I guess you can get it on console. I was wrong there, but not in the USA. The unedited version of was released in North America under Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude, uncut and uncensored.
So it's not technically AO, it's whatever their rating system is.
The difference between the North American release is that the uncut and uncensored contains full nudity and sex scenes, although there is very little of the latter, is mostly implied rather than depicted. Both versions were refused classification by the OFLC and effectively banned in Australia. So I'm wondering, did it release on console as the uncut version?
Not as an AO game. I think it released under the guise of whatever the other rating system is, so it's not technically. I don't think you can buy an AO version of it, or could buy, unless it's overseas with the other rating system. Like, it won't have the AO stamp, I guess. Yeah, this was one of the 3 AO games that I knew of. Although
Leisure Suit Larry.
I don't think San Andreas ever released AO, but
there's actually something about that though. I do have some information about that.
Gotcha.
1 second here though. I can't even buy Leisure Suit Larry.
Wait, what the fuck? San Andreas also came out on my birthday in 2004.
Really? On the same? How did Larry compete?
Damn, no wonder that was the last one.
I think it must have been the Windows version that was just the uncut then, because I'm not finding. I'm just looking for like a cover art or something. What did I say it was called? It was called Uncut and Uncensored. If I type, I have so many tabs open. And uncensored. Wait, you can buy it on Steam? What's the rating on Steam then?
Let's go.
Does Steam not show the rating over here or what? Mostly positive. Bunch of perverts rating these things.
Steam definitely has ratings somewhere.
Yeah, because I looked it up for the last game we're going to talk about. I looked it up and I saw it was AO on there, so.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go watch the endings on an adult website here.
Good. That's good to know.
Yeah, so yeah. All right, well that's Leisure Suit Larry. I don't really want to there's a whole bunch I could talk about it, I guess, but like the plot or the development or
Nah. Pass.
It's stupid Leisure Suit Larry. Yeah, like it's garbage. And we got to keep moving on. Where the heck are we at? Leisure Suit. I had a whole page of Leisure Suit Larry, basically.
Oh no.
Okay, so this is a weird one. Have you ever heard of a game called Indigo Prophecy?
Yes.
This one's technically not on the list. It was called Fahrenheit outside of the U.S.
Yeah, it was a precursor to Heavy Rain.
Yep. But supposedly, where was that? Because this one's not on the Wikipedia page, but it is on this giantbomb.com. And I don't remember where I was reading. Changes in the United States and Canada, the game title was changed from Fahrenheit to Indigo Prophecy to avoid being confused with the documentary Fahrenheit 9/11. The nude scenes featured in the game are also removed. The scenes include full frontal nudity and interactive sexing. Through the latter does not feature in portrayal of reproductive organs.
A QTE sex scene? Let's go.
Isn't that in God of War 3 though?
I think you tap like the X button and then you see like
is the bed just shaking?
Yeah, like a chalice shaking on a nightstand next to a bed.
Because it was like a rhythm game essentially. We had to push the right buttons as they were coming through, right? Like tap the right ones or something like that. But anyways, the Indigo Prophecy Director's Cut was released as a Windows-only release in North America. This version is rated adults only, even though the version in other parts of the world said scenes have lower age limits. So that's the only information I can say that it's adults only, but I cannot find any other source that actually says this. So take this with a grain of salt, I suppose.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the same people. What they also make Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
Started off with a naughty game. Naughty.
Just a little fun.
Yep. All right, let's keep trucking though. I'm running out of water and drinks over here. What are we on next? All right, so we got Lula. She's back, baby. We got Lula 3D. If you remember Lula from earlier, the Tycoon game. Oh, this one's completely different, though. Lula 3D is an adult adventure video game published by CDV Software Entertainment for Microsoft Windows. It was released in Europe on June 22nd, 2005. It was part of the Lula video game series. So this one centers around Lula. So this one, you are Lula in this game.
Okay.
Who's trying to produce her next adult movie, but must delay her shoot when her female co-stars are kidnapped. The player guides Lula to recover her lost co-stars. The title received negative reviews from critics who felt that technical problems and lowbrow humor removed enjoyment from the game.
Damn,
it is considered one of the worst games of all time.
It's just built like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, and then you get to the plot too. 3 adult star triplets are abducted from Lula's house, and she decides to rescue them. After finding keys, Lula leaves her home in Beverly Hills, and travels to San Francisco, Las Vegas, and New Orleans to rescue them. That's all the plot we got there.
The cover says, it has a little blurb that says, featuring Bouncin' Boobs technology.
Yeah, jiggle physics. When did this come out, though? When did Dead or Alive come out? When was the first Dead or Alive? Because
it's
they
honestly
were the ones, right?
about the same time. Because this says 2005, 2006.
When was Dead or Alive released?
Well,
because they were like the ones, right?
Like
I mean, like
beach volleyball or just the fighting game.
Just the first Dead or Alive, because it's still.
Oh.
Because that
was like
1996.
Yeah, that was way before.
Were they not in the jiggle physics business at that point, though?
I think Dead or Alive 3, like that era, was when it was like really prevalent.
When did Dead or Alive 3 come out? So, I know we're getting sidetracked like a bunch here, but I hope it's
whatever.
It's fine. 2001, Dead or Alive 3 came out, and this was what? Yeah, 2005. They didn't have jiggle physics then.
Wow.
Dead or come on.
Beach volleyball was already making people go crazy, and that wasn't even an AO game.
It should have been.
Yeah.
No, yeah, even as a kid, I'm like, because I saw it at the used game store, and I'm like, I was like 15 probably when I first saw it, and I'm like, I'm not wasting money on this. I know it's not going to be
a game
worth my money at all. Yeah. And how hard is it to beat your meat to something like that while you're trying to play with a controller? Like, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah, you need 2 hands. It's not going to work.
Alrighty, what about Lula, though? What were we... Oh, yeah, so here's some... The Lula series was originally developed by German company CDV Software Entertainment in response to the lack of mainstream Western adult video games and the censorship of such games as Leisure Suit Larry. So this is like a protest, I guess. Ooh, the developers used motion capture for both action and erotic scenes. The use of motion capture for breast physics was advertised on the game's packaging as bounce and boobs technology, like you just said.
Oh, they mocapped titties?
Yeah, they sure did. They sure did. Nice. So what does this say? So let's read some reviews here quick. The Eurogamer's Ellie Gibson believed that the game's low quality and childish humor made Lula 3D feel like an erotic adventure that was developed and intended for 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Make you feel like you've just lost 12 years of your life and leave you wishing you had some kind of mind bulima so you could stick it all up and start again. Stick it all up and start. Oh my God, that's harsh. So inexorbitantly, mind-bogglingly ignorant of how either real games or sex works that spread eagles itself fair way into the so bad it's good category. So that's kind of good, right?
Oh, yeah, like Sonic 06.
Yeah.
Broken game. I can see that.
The game was considered oddly compelling for its quality, which the reviewer compared to all 10 minutes of Michelle from Big Brother decked out in a cheap purple. I don't know. That reference means nothing to me.
Big Brother was probably the show. Probably big.
But yeah, I know that much, but it's like some guy on Big Brother decked out in cheap purple underwear, I guess. All right. That's enough of Lula, though. Because I think what bugs me about the Lula 3D is that we lost the good comic book art style of the other Lula game.
Yeah, because it's 3D.
Yeah. All right, we got one more here, and then it's your turn, finally. We got Playboy the Mansion, which was a PS2 game.
Yeah.
But the actual game itself was not AO. It was a DLC that came out, or an add-on, I guess you'd say. But this game sounds like the most boring game ever. I don't know if you ever heard of the Playboy game. It was on the PS2.
No. I mean, what do you do? Like,
it's another tycoon kind of game. Puts the role of Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy and Playboy Enterprise, referred to as Hef. The aim of the game is to build a famed Playboy empire, starting from scratch, starting a humble magazine, celebrity endorsement. So you have to you find girls, take pictures. You have to find celebrities to do interviews. It sounds so boring. But it contains many sexual references, including sexual relationships. But yeah, and it's I don't know. It doesn't even look. It looks kind of like The Sims again, though. Kind of. I don't know how they're pulling that off. But yeah, the expansion is where we get the AO rating for some reason. I don't know if this was a computer or Windows only thing, or what. But because I don't know how you have an expansion on your Xbox and PS2.
It's probably
maybe some games did it, but where did I find it? I put it in my file here. Okay, here we go. Sims, but Playboy Mansion need to get... Oh, no. Hold on. The expansion is rated AO for not quite known reasons, but because genitals are blurred. But another addition to the game, which is most likely the reason it received an AO in North America, was the fact it is possible for there to be female homosexual relationships.
Oh.
And that's really the only information I could get. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep. So that's Playboy the Mansion. It sounds like an awful, again, a lot of these games just sound awful, like cash grabs, like the ones that were not just like visual novels. Because I understand those more in terms of like if that's your thing. Plus, not my thing, but
you can play it one-handed.
Yeah. Well, and it's, I mean, there's some good art in there. There is some like creative force behind him, if that makes sense. As opposed to the Playboy Mansion, Leisure Suit Larry, that one at least on here. Lula 3D, it's not... There's no drive to be creative. It's literally just, we need to make money, and how we're going to make money is boobs.
We're kind of batting strikes or whatever, yeah.
But But yeah, that game was 2006, and the next one we got is it's your turn for a Manhunt.
Manhunt 2 came out in 2009. Yeah. Came out in 2009. So this is one of the more interesting reasons for a game to be AO, I think, because like I don't know, I feel like sexual content's a little bit of a gimme, but the original release of this game was too violent to be put out into stores, which is kind of crazy. Because like we have stuff like Mortal Kombat that keeps getting more and more violent as time goes on. And also, I don't remember if it was 11 or 10, but like they put the animators, they made them watch like real actual like dying videos, like snuff films, to animate the fatalities. Anyways,
I think the difference though between that and Mortal Kombat, I don't know much about the story of Manhunt 2. I don't know if you got that on wraps here.
Yeah.
But I know the story of Manhunt 1, which I think is maybe why it's seen as worse, because what you're making snuff films essentially, right? Is the whole point of that game.
Yeah.
There's a producer who's making you go do these heinous things. So I'm wondering if it's the context that makes a difference. Makes a difference.
So it's not so much about that in Manhunt 2 actually. But we'll get into that. I guess also like Mortal Kombat's arcadey. It's meant to be
well, it's a fighting game. It makes sense in that context. It's
gory,
it's
just to be all out gory. This is like they depict violence in a more realistic sense, in a more scary sense. But yeah, it was originally the original submission was given an AO rating, so they did have to change some things up so it could actually release in stores. What is it? Made by Rockstar of Grand Theft Auto fame, and also like Red Dead, Bully, stuff like that. But this checks off every mark. So this is rated adults only because of blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, strong sexual content, and the use of drugs. Some obviously, so the game is about killing people. It's about sneaking up and like killing people in heinous ways with like manufactured, crafted like weapons and stuff. So Manhunt 2, you're some dude, I forget his name.
Dixmer, no, it's Dixmer. No, that's the name of the asylum. What's his name? Daniel Lamb?
Yes, Daniel Lamb, who's in an experimental like whatever facility asylum. You do end up being freed from there, and the whole thing is like you just I guess you have to kill people so then your shit doesn't get out. And
something about him taking medication to help clear his head, and he begins to remember fragments of his former life.
Yeah,
pursued by, it sounds nuts compared to like the first one.
The whole thing is like you're on drugs a lot of the time and like going out and executing people. I remember, so I played this as a kid. Pretty cool game to have as a kid, and I thought it was bad as it is, but I guess it gets worse. Yeah, I vividly remember the it's like a wire execution where you choke somebody out with a wire, and like that like actually scared me because I was like, man, it's really easy for something like that to just happen to you.
It's also in the same universe as Grand Theft Auto, so it's like a cinematic universe kind of thing going on there, which is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering too, because it looks like you can kill civilians in this game.
Yeah. You can just go
and so that changes. You don't want to you get a different ending if you kill too many civilians. So I'm wondering if that plays a factor in it. I don't think there's civilians in the first one, right? It's just you're in like a compound and there's a dude recording you and telling you to go do these things, right?
Yeah, this one you're like out on the streets. You're trying not to get caught. So like anybody can get caught in the crossfire. Just because like you don't want people to know. I guess he was. I have the game right here. I still own the game. has his birthday on the on the disc. It's like a little record of Daniel Lamb. He was born 5/29/63, which is kind of crazy.
Maybe we should do a full playthrough of this one on the Discord sometime. I think that'd be fun. It's easy to emulate and whatnot, and do some commentary over that. I think that'd be a fun time.
Well, I mean, I can just record from the disc itself, but
oh, you can do that with your PS2. Either way, as long as we can have it up on Discord and we can watch and hang out and just chit chat over that, I think it'd be a fun time.
I have stuff to convert it to HDMI, and then I can just go right through there.
Perfect. Yeah, let's because we want to do that, and I still want to do Silent Hill in that same format too. But this one would be really fun, especially with this series we're doing right here.
Yeah, of course.
I think it'd be a fun time.
And like, yeah, the AO version had a lot more gruesome like executions and stuff like that.
Because you can buy the uncut version for PC, right?
Yes. Well, that
is a thing.
I don't know if you can buy it, but it's definitely available.
Yeah, well, that's where they released the uncut version. I think that's the AO one, right? Then still, isn't it, or no?
Yes, the uncut version.
Okay.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they yes.
Oh my god, this Wikipedia page is nuts.
Yeah, they the executions, they changed how some of the executions worked, because for the gruesome ones, like you actually like move your thumbstick in like similar directions that the character does on the screen, and they thought that was like emulating it just a little too closely, so they had to change how the executions like went on. And also some things that are kind of a little bit more interesting is that like some of the executions like had flashing colors that were dulled down. That was also another big thing, was flashing, like this flashing red light and like blurring stuff.
So it's a lot. Sounds like do you ever know about the Punisher game? The American version and the European version are very different, to where they move the camera angle slightly and darken some things up and that kind of stuff. So it sounds like they did that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I guess it seems like the regular version took out the civilians. So the AO one had civilians.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I guess I was backwards when I was reading this earlier. You can't behead people. In the censored version, they took that out for some reason. I wonder why.
It sounds like this whole controversy kind of ruined the Manhunt franchise as well, from what it looks like, to an extent anyways, because
they couldn't sell the game.
Yeah, because it was like an unexpected move. They issued the AO rating, so they didn't even know. So what they do, call them back in, or what? Or did they not even get them out on the shelves?
They just changed the game and then released it for... Well,
it says...
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
It says they got... so later that same day, in an unexpected move, the ESRB issued the game with an AO rating. But how soon was that before launch, I wonder?
Right. Yeah, so they had to rush a ton of stuff.
So I'm wondering if they were getting... I don't know, there's a whole bunch of stuff here I could go through and whatnot, but... I'm wondering how long it took them to censor it. August 24th, they granted the initial the M rating. So yeah, from June to August, they had like 2 months there. It looks like almost 3, because beginning of June, end of June, end of August.
That's still pretty quick.
Yeah,
to like print it and shit. Yeah. But when you do the executions, it does kind of have like a film grainy effect sometimes. So that probably carries over.
It's not recording a film in this one though, is it?
No,
I don't think.
So.
Yeah, that's
But
yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, because the first game was intense, like just the story wise, like it feels way worse than this one. Just from what I quickly read on the plot here. Like the first one is more
the reason why you're doing everything. It's surprising that didn't get the AO rating.
No, yeah, because I mean, to be fair, I guess you're kind of being controlled into doing that. It's like kill or be killed, but still, like,
true.
I don't know. This one doesn't seem as bad, but I suppose if it's just better technology and whatnot. I'm wondering if this is why we don't have more Manhunt though. But Rockstar is also busy with Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto at this point, so
yeah, they have that stuff will sell way better than a new Manhunt.
I just want Bully 2.
What's funny is that I believe. Yeah, Manhunt 2 came out on the Wii. Isn't that nuts?
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
that is nuts. I see that here right now.
It's so
that is
silly.
insane. Can you buy that still? Hold on. How does it work? Does it wonder if it's got motion controls at all, or?
Oh, imagine having to like do the executions by like mimicking the knife actions on Wii. Yeah,
$9.
So yeah,
I might have to buy that.
I mean, it's kind of a golden egg right there.
Yeah,
the biggest thing I guess was the civilians, the beheading, the executions, and like the red and white flashing lights. Those are the big things that did it.
Yeah, that's nuts. It seems a little silly, but what year was this? 2007. Yeah, it's a weird time for the country, but at least it wasn't like the 90s, I guess. I can't believe it was on the PSP too.
Oh.
But yeah, any more you want to talk about Manhunt or?
Honestly, not really. The game scared me when I was a kid, but I still played it.
Yeah, my friend's older brother had the first one, and it also scared me, and I never really played it after that. So
yeah,
so you're just watching him play, and yeah, it was a lot.
It is a lot.
All right, let's move on then. We're almost done here. I don't know how much I want to talk about these next two games. They're just we got it's a PS2 game called FEF, A Fairy Tale of the Two, is another adult visual novel. Blah blah blah.
Classic.
The plot is, the first part is titled F. There's two parts. This is just gets confusing too. And this one's also got a manga and an anime and all that stuff too.
God damn.
And it's a lot. There's a whole story. This is an actual PS2 game. It's just a lot, and it's another just visual novel, and I don't even see, but we can go back here and see. Unlike other self-rated games by Manga Gamer, this game was sent to the ESRB at request from the Japanese developer in order to get a green light for a hard copy release in the United States. So it's just blood, nudity, sexual violence, strong language, strong sexual content. It's just that. And then the other game, Eden Plus Mosaic, that looks like a child on the front cover, which also makes me ick. And this game was sent to the ESRB at the request of Japanese developer in order to get a green light. I don't know. If you want to go look those two games up yourself, that's fine. They're just not very interesting. It's just more of the same thing we've been covering, and just there's a lot of it. And at this point in the research, I'm just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, another visual novel with boobies.
Well, and this one is just, the plot is very anime. So if you want to go check it out, it's even hard. It's so many like the primarily consists of the story of Hirohono, Mikamanamiro, Kisususuri, and there's just a bunch of names, and it's the whole thing is just name after name, having a reunion in a church during Christmas time. Despite her attire, Yuko is not affiliated with the church. It's a whole bunch of someone with way too much time really liked this game, made the Wikipedia page, it looks like.
Oh, a super fan. That's a red flag.
And there's the fact that it's also a manga and an anime too after this game. It's just, there's too much.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure if Eden Plus.
Oh, okay, the other one. Gotcha.
This one's got less, but that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But this one's more sci-fi again. In the future, a huge mass of energy suddenly appears near Mars, which causes unusual natural phenomena. As a result, war and terrorism occur all over the world. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even, none of these plots even describe why these actually get bad.
Yeah.
99 years later, a Felix girl named Soyeon devotes her life to humans' plans to accomplish her task and decides to stay on Earth the rest of her life. Then a boy is sent to protect her as well as to restrict her freedom. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what any of this means. So it
doesn't even sound like sexual.
There's
at
nothing
all.
sexy. Yeah, that's the whole thing with both of these. But there's Wikipedia, so
people want you'd think you'd want to advertise that since that's what it's about. That's why people would get it, but I guess.
Oh, I found the other guy. I didn't look on the bottom of this list. I found where Fahrenheit was placed down here. It's below. There's a whole games that received it but were not released with the AO rating. That's a whole different thing. I guess I didn't actually scroll down that far. But anyways, we are going to the last one here because I need to be done. This is too much.
The deep dive is too deep.
Do you remember Hatred? It was a big deal in 2015.
No. Actually don't.
Do you ever play the first Postal?
Oh, I know what Postal is.
So Hatred is like that without any sort of... It is the most edgy of edgelord games you could possibly
There's no
imagine.
funny?
No. And the first Postal wasn't that funny either, but it had more of a criticism, and it had more of a point to make with it. This is literally just guy in a trench coat just murdering people. Gotcha. Hatred is a shooter game presented in isometric perspective, in which the player character and protagonist is a mass murdering villain who hates the world and human worms feasting on its carcass, and embarks on a genocide crusade against the human race. The player can carry 3 weapons, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this game.
Yeah, I did go look up the art. It's all in black and white.
Yeah, I have it up here right now. I might have like seen something about it in passing.
It was a big deal because so let's see, where is that part at? The developer described Hatred as a reaction to video game aesthetic trends such as political correctness, politeness, and vivid color, and games. So
cool.
He was trying to make an art piece, but he was like, "Fuck the SJWs." It kind of seems like what he's going with that.
Yeah, it looks like a game that people who think they're edgy would play.
Yeah, exactly. The game was shortly removed by Valve from their Steam Greenlight service due to its extremely violent content, but was later brought back, and a personal apology by Gabe Newell was issued for some reason. Upon release, it received generally negative reviews in the video game. Critics panned the game for being repetitive and lacking in variation, criticizing its violent and controversial nature, though minor praise went towards the gameplay mechanics. But yeah, not only was it like just edgelord, it just sucked too. We got a 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10, better, right? 48 of 100. Like, yeah, it was a whole big thing though, because Steam took it down. And so, of course, that sent everybody into a frenzy. But I don't think people understand. Like, so it's also not made. Where did this dude from? I think they're... Hold on. Norwegian, maybe? They're not American people who made this game. So I don't think they really understand why this might not be cool. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Where is I saw it on here?
They're just not woke as us liberals over here in the West.
But yeah, they wanted a reaction out of political correctness, and they got it, and it was a whole... But they didn't want color, because games are too colorful, and this is an art form.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
That's even more like, come on.
I can't stand any of this. And service level entertainment with no insertion of any fake philosophy. There's nothing. So at least with Postal, there was some...
Yeah.
Like, Postal 1 was a bit more like this, but it had a bit more nuance to it. Postal 2, on the other hand, was so incredibly offensive that Postal 2 is... Have you ever played Postal 2?
I think I own it, but I've never played it. I watched somebody play it.
There's this guy on YouTube called Totally Pointless TV who does a great video on the Postal games, and I highly recommend checking it out because he really breaks down what went into this game and all the little things and how it might be offensive and whatnot, but just how what it was going for, and it really explains it very well.
Why did I buy
but yeah, because that game is not politically correct whatsoever, but it did it in a different way to where it wasn't just shitty.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It goes back to, it's a little bit more arcadey too, with how it presents itself. Like, you put a fucking cat on the end of your gun and use it as a silencer. Like, it's
well, yeah, exactly. Like, and there's, you pee on people, and like, you can not do any of that stuff is the thing though too. You don't have to, you can do all your tasks. You can go wait in line at the grocery store, but it just takes forever to get that line because people aren't moving, they're chit-chatting. Yeah. And so it makes you want to go crazy. It's a fun, like, subversion of expectations kind of, where you can do whatever you want. So given the option to do whatever you want, what will people do? As opposed to this is just the most edgelordy.
It's the opposite of Undertale.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that is our whole list of AO rated games. I'm surprised there has not been another one, but since Hatred was so... Because Hatred is still AO on Steam. I did look that up. There has been nothing changed. Okay. But yeah, he just indiscriminately murders every person he encounters, and it's...
Cool.
I don't know. It's all in black and white, and the dude is like... He looks like he's into the Columbine shooters and whatnot, and it's just distasteful, I guess. History. Like, Postal 2 is distasteful as all hell. But in a way that's like, I don't even know how to explain the difference because they are both so distasteful. But yeah, it is more arcadey and more silly.
Well, for starters, it has color.
Well, yeah, but I don't know why it makes such a big difference. But I think because they weren't. It's not like there's some deep thing in Postal 2.
It's the presentation of how they tackle doing those things.
Because Postal 2 is racist and it's anti-SJW to an extent, and like it's all the same things, but there's such a charm to it where it's not
like Grand Theft Auto. You can kill people, but that presents itself differently from both of these games.
Because you get in trouble. I suppose you're getting in trouble in hatred as well, but like, I don't know. It was a whole big controversy. I'm sure someone on YouTube has made videos about hatred and what actually went down with it. I remember watching. I think I was watching Some Ordinary Gamer maybe at the time in 2000. No, I don't know. I was watching someone who was just commenting on 2015. But yeah, it was a whole big deal, big controversy. And that is the last official AO game we've ever gotten since 2015. Not one in 8 years. So I think someone needs to step up the plate and we need to get some more AO rated games up in here.
Come on, guys. Maybe it's because like physical releases aren't as big of a deal, so a lot of these people aren't even submitting stuff to the ESRB. But
yeah, but we're not getting stuff on anybody's store either. So I mean, they're not.
That's true.
Everybody's too cowardly.
Yeah, guys, come on.
But I think the difficult part is you don't want to make, because I don't want just like a porn game. That's not what I'm looking for. Right. But I think it'd be fun to see.
I feel like if Honey Pop didn't release on their own website, the like uncensored version, it would be an AO game. But nobody would put it on their stores though, because even though we're not getting physical releases, that's why they have still not. Yeah.
What'd you say? It's called Honey Pot.
Honey Pop. It's like HUNNIE POP. Honey Pop.
Definitely. Oh, this one. I think I've seen this.
You probably have.
Is this on?
I think Markiplier played it. I think a couple people played it. The regular,
like the uncensored version or the censored version?
The censored version.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, these games seem like, I don't know why it's always these kind of games are probably the easiest one. The cheapest way to make an AO game, like a naughty game like this, I suppose, would be the cheapest way to go about it is doing the visual novels, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, and it's crazy too, because the Nintendo Switch will have like hentai puzzle solver, and it's just like sliding puzzle.
There's no nudity, but it's rated M.
Yeah. And it's like, that's like the most bottom of the barrel game.
But yeah, I assume it's because these games are cheap to make, because you can go on like a Flash game website that have all these kind of things, and they're all the same kind of quality and whatnot. But so I suppose that's probably why we're not getting any more official releases for this kind of thing, because it's just not worth it. You can go get ad revenue on a website and whatnot, or pay, because they got Patreons and whatnot and all that jazz.
That's true. Yeah, there's other ways for them to make money off of producing stuff.
Alrighty though, I think we good here then. That was a fun time.
Pretty much. I did touch on San Andreas. Was there something that you wanted to?
It's the hot coffee, right? That's the whole thing with San Andreas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, hot coffee it's hot coffee.
But that game was already out, right? And then
they had to pull it and then change it and then release it back out, which is crazy.
So I wonder how much a hot coffee version goes for here.
Right. For those that didn't know, there was it's not like accessible by normal means in the game, but there was a sex scene. The mission was called like hot coffee or something. And there was a scene
because it was coming in for coffee, right? Like that was the whole come in for coffee and then you'd go bang. But it didn't show anything. You just heard the stuff from the outside the house, right? Yeah. But how is that different than having sex with hookers in a car?
I don't know. Maybe it was the moaning or that's weird. That's a good point. And like the killing of people, but I don't know, unless there's something else to it. But it was originally on the game, and you could get to it through mods and stuff, and they had to take it off.
It's hard to find out which copies are exactly the ones to it. I'm not getting a real answer.
Dang.
Here. So I guess you have to look on the back and see what year it came out, I guess, and
like copyright year or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll have the version patch on there, but
but also like even just accessing that, you'd have to have like a computer and rip it anyways, I think. So
well, I didn't know Outlast 2 was also originally given the AO rating before.
Oh.
Wonder what that. This game was edited prior to release to meet the M rating.
That's cool.
Why though? I don't. What was? Hold on. I'm more rabbit hole.
So scary.
Was Outlast 2 censored? Dealing with matters of sex, drug misuse, or so is the Australian people who were. So Outlast 2 is banned in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Straight up banned. I hear it's a good game.
Outlast?
Outlast 2.
Not my kind of games. That's my issue with them. They're fun to watch, I guess, but I don't like the Heidi horror.
Yeah, after Amnesia, the first one, it's kind of hard to...
I couldn't even get through Amnesia. I'm just like, this is not my thing. Like, I just don't like sneaking and hiding. I'm not a stealth guy in general.
Plus, like, replaying those games, it's not scary because you know when you're safe, so you can just blast through it.
Red Barrels. So there was sexual content in Outlast? Ew.
Outlast 1, I think, had some wieners. I played Outlast 1.
Ew, but this is people, like, I can't find...
So, yeah, I totally get it, though. The whole, like, you just have to hide until they walk away type thing.
The game's main character, Blake, was involved in some kind of sexual violence.
Oh no, Blake.
But I'm not getting any, That's, like, that's about all I'm getting there.
So I just had to... They probably didn't
for claims
have to do
of
much.
Implied sexual violence? I don't even know what's going on anymore. What the hell is Agony? Oh, I've seen that on my stores and stuff like that. Yeah, that one also apparently for blood, gore, nudity. So it's just yeah, I guess it's the most boring stuff of just it's too sexy stuff.
Yeah, it happens.
Alrighty though.
I think we're good. I think
so too.
So much.
Wait, hold on. What? Oh, Thrill Kill. Oh, I remember Thrill Kill. It didn't actually come out, but someone played. I don't remember who I watched play the whatever game they found they found it online and were able to get it running.
Oh,
it's like a BDSM fighting game for the PlayStation 1.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I've seen somebody play that too. Because there was there's a guy on stilts. Anyways.
Yeah, the stilts guy and the chains and whips and whatnot. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here on time, I think so.
I think so. We've dug way too deep into this, but it's really interesting because a lot of these games
there's more we could still find out too. Like we still don't know a lot about a lot of these, and
that's true.
Maybe we'll do some playthroughs. We'll get some Lula, the Sexy Empire. We'll do an audio stream of it. But yeah, thanks for having me on again. It's been a wonderful time. I really enjoyed doing this. Of course. I hope to come back sometime.
Thanks for coming back with a sweet idea for a podcast that went on for so long.
I'll keep them coming. Yeah, I got more ideas. So
I'm sure I'll have you on many, many times. So
perfect. I really appreciate that. It's been fun.
I'm always
good to help each other out.
Yeah. So
always good to branch out audiences.
If anybody made it this far, of course, check out Anthony. He streams a lot on TikTok at the moment at Sechsy Studios.
SECHSY Studios. It'll be tagged, I'm sure, and whatnot in titles and all that jazz. So it'll be there.
Yes.
And also I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitch. If you want to follow me over there, I record my YouTube videos on Twitch at the moment, and I'm trying to work on my content over there. So trying to get better at that. But yeah.
He's a little bit of everywhere. But go check him out. Great guy. Into a lot of weird niches or little avenues that you might not know about, and also plays a lot of Zelda, so the complete opposite. But there's a lot of stuff to find over there. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it.
And thank you again for having me.
Oh, of course. Thanks for coming on. I didn't have to talk that much this episode.
Oh, I'm dying.
Great.
I got
saved my
some
throat.
New medication, and I got the dry mouth really bad.
Oh no, worst.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the S's were really hard to say because my mouth is just. I'm out of water. I'm out of energy drink, and I gotta pee really bad. So
let's go. Take care
until next
of that.
time.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.